Hi, I'm Pratyay Bhandarkar. I'm a global architect in the networking group at Dell Technologies. Today, I want to speak about open source networking and how Dell Technologies is supporting the open source networking. So before I get into the networking industry itself, I wanted to give a background on why open source networking is really important. So to speak to that, let's look into the evolution of the compute industry. We saw the compute industry start with mainframe computing and some dumb terminals to manage those mainframe computing, and which was a complete proprietary solution where the hardware and the operating system on top of that hardware was completely proprietary, a closed solution. From there, we saw the evolution of the compute from mainframe to server computing, which was a more generic hardware, which was open architecture, which was x86 based, and also the dumb terminals changed into say a desktop or client computing. So in this one, when we saw the hardware and software was disaggregated, and the hardware was actually open because everyone knew what the chipset was, how it is put together to make a server, and then the software in that aspect was a closed solution. The software was a proprietary solution working on the hardware to give you a compute uh, experience. From there, we moved to a completely disaggregated and open solution when Linux came into the picture. Like the hardware was open, and then the software was actually open source. So the openness of both hardware and software actually skyrocketed the innovation in the compute industry. We went into virtualization, we went to automation, we went into cloud computing, we went into mobile computing. From the desktops, we moved to laptops. From there, to we went to mobile phones. So the innovations exploded with opening up the hardware, the softwares, and everything. And also people could write applications of on top of these open source operating system because it was not a proprietary solution. It was very openly available on how to write an application on top of open source operating systems. So the same evolution is what we are seeing in the networking industry, and Dell Technologies has been one of the forerunners to actually fuel this evolution. So what we have seen in the networking industry is a proprietary hardware and networking operating systems. In the traditional networking terms, it has been a single vendor giving you the hardware and a tightly integrated software on top of it. But around 2014 is when Dell Technologies started open networking. We disaggregated the hardware and software. Our hardware was compatible with multiple partner operating systems. We provided the choice to the customers on what software they wanted to run on Dell Technologies hardware. So we have been number one in open networking from the time we started. Since 2014, we have been the number one in open networking. So what is the next evolution step in networking will be same as the compute industry, where it is opening up the network operating system itself. So, and SONiC is the key player in this because of its own architecture and because of the community it has built and because of the interest from the customers. So SONiC is a completely open source NOS, which is built with a microservices architecture where each feature or there are a lot of components which are so modular that they all of them run as containers in SONiC. And then we people can write their own applications on these NOS to run as a container as well. So this is an exact recipe for innovation. So that is where Dell Technologies is coming into play, and we are going to provide the hardware and the software which is completely open, and to make sure that we can support this to with our for our customers. So I want to give on how Dell Technologies has been involved with SONiC from last few years. So Dell is one of the main contributors or leading contributors for SONiC, and not only just providing the code or contributing some code or platforms, but also in other groups. So we have played key role in with SONiC from its nascent stages. We have been involved with SONiC with Microsoft from last 4 years. We have been the founding members of SAI, and we are contributing into a lot of subgroups in SONiC. For example, test automation, the SAI, the management framework, a lot of contributions involved, a lot of reviews, a lot of architectural discussions, everything. So we have been involved with SONiC for a long time, and we know the in and outs of SONiC. We are very well versed with the operating system from the beginning. So we also have around 7 platforms today which support SONiC, which is there in the open source community, and we are planning to actually contribute 20 more platforms, and these 20 more platforms are going to include all the categories from 1 gig to 400 gigs, so the customers have options of choosing what speeds and feeds they need. So how can we support SONiC for our enterprise customers? That is where the Dell distribution of SONiC comes into play. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that SONiC is available and adoptable by our enterprise customers. The SONiC has been currently used by all the cloud providers like Microsoft or Alibaba, who have lots of resources to work on these operating systems to make sure that they can contribute a lot of features and customize according to their network. But enterprise customers whom we have seen, they need a little bit help in those areas, and that is where Dell Technologies wants to help. So how we are going to do that is by providing a focused roadmap on what are the features we are going to contribute, and making sure that we prioritize the features required by our customers into the open source community. And then we are going to make sure that we harden the operating system, which is and make sure that our customers have the confidence to take it into production. And also we can globally support our customers and make sure that the hardware and software as a stack is completely supported, and they have all the critical support they need from a trusted vendor. So I'm going to double click into each of these things to give you a more insight. So let's go into what do I mean by enterprise hardening. So there are a lot of features and functionalities what enterprises need, which are more than what is available today in SONiC, or which is required for a cloud level network operating system. So in a cloud level network operating system, having BGP and writing proprietary tools to manage the network is easier with a lot of resources. But in the case of enterprises, they need a robust management tool, or what do you say, the robust framework to manage their networks. That is where a centralized management framework is very key. And we are making sure that we actually design, architect, and contribute the management framework back to the community. Not only that, for integration with the solutions in their data centers, they need a lot of northbound interfaces and CLI, REST, GNMI, GNOI, all these features which are required for a futuristic or a new generation data center technology. These are a key part. And also for automation, there is support required on the Ansible, Chef, and other automation tools. So we are making sure that we, excuse me, we are making sure that we contribute all these things, and we develop all these things to make sure that we can support our customers. And also getting an operating system into a production means making sure that it is reliable. For making sure that it is reliable, we run thousands of test cases on each of the feature we contribute. Not only what we contribute for all, but also for all the features which is already there. We make sure that we fix the bugs and we test it and we make it enterprise ready, meaning our customers can actually rely on us that we do the testing, we have done the use case testing, we make sure that there is the solution testing, and we make sure that there is scale testing, which actually hardens the operating system by fixing a lot of bugs and making sure that it does not impact our customers in production networks. Also, we are building ecosystem of partners to support this complete solution. So I will talk about the solutions just in a couple of slides ahead. So let's see what is next. So what do I mean by trusted hardware and support? So as I said, we have been in the networking hardware for a long time now, and we have a plethora or a full suite of hardware available for our customer from our 1 gig to 400 gig platforms. And we are also innovating, and we are increasing the feeds and speeds of the boxes as required by the customers. And also our hardware is x86 based and merchant silicon based, which means they are open hardwares, which we call it as a white box or bright box with the support. So from with that, and there are a lot of customers who are already using our hardware, and they trust us for their hardware requirements. Now what we want to do is provide global support with the hardware, with for SONiC as well, to make sure that our customers can rely on us for anything related to networking hardware or the software. So we will provide mission critical support, even say 4-hour replacements, and all the enterprise level support required on both our Dell hardware and the software. And lot of questions asked on how do I get trained, how do we get some documentation. That is where we are striving to make sure our customers happy with a lot of documentation on they can use open source networking, how they can use SONiC, and to give them comprehensive documentation and training for their network operations guys, making sure that they know the highest level to operate these networks, and also providing them reference architectures and guides and all those documentation required by our customers. So how are we fueling innovation with all these things? So what we are trying to do is we are making sure that we open source, or we contribute to the open source community in every layer possible. It might be the layer 2 or layer 3 protocols, or say VXLAN AVPN solution, or say telemetry. We are trying to contribute in every aspect, keeping in mind the enterprise requirements. What this does is it is stirring the community up to add more and more features, and making sure that all the features required by different use cases are catered for, and we are making sure that that roadmap is there, and we prioritize our customers features into the operating system. And the next part is how we are building the solution. We are building an ecosystem of partners around SONiC to make sure our customers can have a complete solution stack, which is say monitoring the configuration of their networks, managing their day-to-day three operations. All these things can be done with a lot of ecosystem partners we are building, and they are integrating tightly with our SONiC software to make sure that they can use SONiC in a advanced way to manage and make sure that this new generation data centers are very well built. So I want to give you a context on some of our partners on what they do. So for a solution around SONiC. So the first one is I want to speak briefly on Octo Networks. They have a software called Octo AI Pulse, which is tightly integrated with SONiC, and which is in a continuous integration manner they are developing for SONiC. This is a mainly AI and ML based engine for networking. So we have seen a lot of data from networks, but ingesting that data and giving some meaningful results is the problem what is seen in this industry. So what Octera does is takes all the data which is available from the networks, which we call it as a data haystack, and it can run it through its AI and ML engine, which is the first in the networking industry to actually give meaningful results, actually to give meaningful root causes of any problems, or meaningful visualization of the network. So those are the things this Octera software provides. It helps in fault management. It helps in topology visualization, it helps in analytics, flow analytics, the impact analytics, and it can do a lot of predictions on the network. It can proactively detect any faults coming along, or it can do multi-layer correlations. And also it can going forward, it can help in self-healing networks, which is the next step in AI and ML networks, is to do a self-healing network where it's a closed loop automation and networks can heal themselves. So that is the way forward this software is looking at. And what does this mean for from the business side, right? So it reduces your root cause analysis times. It reduces the number of calls which is going to your NOC. It reduces the alert fatigues. So it's a huge benefit to our customers to use this platform to make sure that they have a complete visibility into their network. So the other partner is Abstra, which mainly helps in the intent-based networking, and it does the job from day zero to day two. You can design a network with SONiC. You can design, build, deploy, validate, and also do all the day two changes required on a daily basis. All these things can be achieved using Abstra's AOS, which helps. Not only in management, also it helps in monitoring and analytics. So, and the advantage of Abstra is you can have a brownfield environment, in the sense you can have different vendor operating systems working together. You can have SONiC in some of your pods, or in some layer of your network. Maybe you have another vendor network operating system in some other layer of your network, or some other pods. But all these things can interoperate and make sure that you have a holistic view of the network. That is where Abstra helps in having a complete solution. The other aspect of SONiC is availability of the buffer statistics and IFA, which is the inline flow analyzer from Broadcom itself, and they have a software to view this, which is called the Broad View. The advantages of this is having deeper insights into your flows, deeper insights into what is happening in the buffers in the chipset. So it gives a lot of data which can be ingested in multiple ways, and a lot of anomalies can be detected much ahead. And also you can analyze on each of the flows on what is the latency, why is the latency high, why there was a drop. So there are a lot of features which Broadcom chipset itself provides. So all these can be integrated with other softwares like the Octera and Abstra to have more and more insight into the network, and help have a robust network, which helps in maintaining a very high network uptime. So with all these things, I wanted to give you on why SONiC and why Dell Technologies. So what we have seen is like Linux in the compute industry opened up the whole compute platforms. It is the same thing happening in the networking industry, where we are opening up the network operating system, and SONiC is the perfect foundation for that next generation data center networks. And Dell Technologies is there to help our customers to make sure that they can adopt open source networking, and they get all the support needed, just like any other NOS out there. So it is like getting the best of both worlds, where you have a completely open, disaggregated network, and you still have the same kind of support, and support from a big vendor who can stand behind you for any decisions you make in your network. So that is exactly where we want to fit in with the Dell distribution of SONiC, which combines the complete openness and advantage of having a global vendor and global support agency to support your next generation networks. So there are a lot of use cases and stuff which we support. So please come to our virtual booth if you have any questions on this, and please don't hesitate to reach out to us for any more information. Thank you.